A footprint pressed into the earth reminds me I'm not alone. From the window of the wooden cabin, I watch winter devouring the forest. Bone-chilling cold seeps in, signaling the harsh trials ahead. Amid the white snow, the line between hunter and prey suddenly becomes suffocatingly fragile. I fell standing dead trees, where the dried hardwood core makes the perfect load-bearing material. Rope is tightened around the old pine trunk using friction hitch techniques. Each knot must be precise to secure the timber, creating a solid anchor point for the structure, the first step in separating my body from the freezing snow below. Rope bindings connect the support posts into a sturdy frame. I place crossbeams up high, forming the foundation suspended in the air. Below, the steel axe blade carves wood ends to create natural joints. Heavy labor gradually warms the body, dispelling the numbing cold of the snow. The axe blade precisely carves each wooden joint. Using every ounce of strength, I lift the heavy crossbeam and continue climbing the slippery tree trunk to install it. At this height, maintaining balance is a matter of survival. One slip could turn survival efforts into painful tragedy. Under the sharp axe blade, wood ends are carved to fit tightly into the tree trunk. I gather my strength to lift the heavy crossbeam, constructing the load-bearing frame up high. Precision is survival, because this will be the backbone keeping the house standing against the savage snowstorms to come. The treehouse frame gradually takes shape with the final horizontal beams. I must stretch to my limit to fit the wood into joints, locking the box structure tight. This suspended foundation is a crucial survival tactic, helping me completely isolate from the deadly dampness and predators lurking beneath the deep snow. The elevated frame is complete. Now I need a way up. 2 straight tree trunks are chosen as posts, with shorter timber pieces cut evenly as steps. Each decisive saw stroke echoes through the silent forest. This ladder is a lifeline, taking me from the frozen ground to the safety of my elevated refuge. The completed ladder is positioned against the pine trunk, opening an escape route from the cold snow. With each step upward, the boundary of safety is gradually established. Standing on the suspended structure, I begin fitting timber pieces as flooring, transforming the bare frame into a true survival fortress in the ancient forest. Hauling heavy tree trunks up high is a persistent battle against gravity. I carefully place each timber piece, gradually expanding the floor, suspended in mid-air. From this height looking down, the deep snow below is both a threat and motivation to complete the shelter as quickly as possible. The wooden floor is complete, creating a solid foothold in mid-air. I begin erecting the skeletal frame for the house. Straight tree trunks are pulled up, secured at 4 corners with load-bearing rope knots. The shape of the shelter becomes clear, completely separate from the cold, unpredictable ground below. The skeletal frame complete, I start assembling the roof cover. Long timber pieces are stacked tightly together, covering the sky overhead. Now, standing beneath the canopy, I can see the form of safety taking shape. The suspended treehouse is not just a place to escape snow, but a declaration of conquering harsh nature. Gathering dry, curved pine branches, I carefully kindle a small fire. Flames catch on birch bark, bursting into precious warmth amid the cold winter. Sitting beneath the just-built fortress, the flickering firelight not only warms numb hands, but also kindles hope for a peaceful night in the ancient forest. The pot of melted snow water begins boiling over the glowing coals. I pour in dried food packets, stirring evenly so warmth permeates each noodle strand. A hot lunch in the forest is spiritual medicine, helping the body recover precious energy after hours of exhausting labor in bone-chilling cold. While eating, I calculate the next steps. The fire has dwindled, leaving only smoldering coals. The modest lunch is enough to restore energy. I carefully extinguish the fire, leaving no dangerous traces, then quickly return to the unfinished construction up high. The meal ends with hot stewed meat mixed with noodles. The rich flavor of meat blends with warmth spreading throughout the body, dispelling gnawing hunger. Sitting by the dying fire, I savor each spoonful, enjoying rare moments of peace before continuing the survival battle in the deep forest. I return to the main task, completing the house floor. Each round timber piece is measured, cut, and fitted tightly together. Beneath my feet, the floor gradually expands, covering the yawning space below. Now I can confidently walk on my fortress, feeling the solidity beneath each wooden layer. Work at height demands intense concentration. I reinforce additional longitudinal beams, connecting tightly with the main tree trunk. The sound of hammering echoes throughout the forest, announcing the formation of a man-made structure amid wild nature. Step by step, the house becomes more solid, ready to face the test of time. Standing on the just finished floor, I begin erecting the roof frame. Crossbeams are pulled up, placed overhead, defining the enclosed living space. At this height, wind howls more fiercely, reminding me that a solid roof is essential for survival to retain precious warmth inside. I continue gathering large fallen pine branches around the area. Under the ancient forest canopy, material sources seem endless, but require careful selection. The sturdiest timber pieces are hauled back, prepared for final reinforcement before nightfall descends completely. I carry a large pine trunk on my shoulder, each step laboring through slippery snow. Persistence is the only weapon to conquer gravity and bone-chilling cold. Reaching the construction base, I quickly tie rope to the wood end. This preparation phase is decisive for hauling material up high, completing the roof before darkness swallows the forest. When the sun has set, I take advantage to rekindle the fire beside newly felled pine logs. This time, the fire is not just for warmth, but also to heat simple canned food. Flickering light dances on the timber pieces, illuminating each wood grain of the construction, gradually taking shape in the cold night. The next morning, sunlight filtering through leaves awakens the forest. I immediately begin roofing. Each timber piece is stacked to create natural slope for draining rainwater and melted snow. Standing beneath the forest canopy looking up, the suspended house has truly taken form, a symbol of human will amid the vast wilderness. The completed roof is a solid shield against rain and snow. I clear excess wood branches around, restoring tidiness to the living area. Now I can sit on the ladder steps, admiring the fruits of my labor. The treehouse is not just shelter, but a masterpiece of persistence and skill amid wild nature. Finally, the last timber pieces are secured, completing the entire treehouse structure. I climb to the roof, checking the solidity one final time. Standing at the peak, amid the vast pine forest, the feeling of conquering nature blends with absolute peace. This is not just shelter, but a fortress of freedom in the wilderness. Dusk gradually falls, painting the pine forest purple. I sit quietly on the ladder steps, watching the last sunlight pierce through leaves. Silent space envelops everything. Only the sound of rustling wind and the ancient forest's breath remain. The long day ends, leaving a towering fortress amid nature, testament to the strength of human will. Early morning, I continue with the windbreak wall. Round timber pieces are stacked upon each other, forming a solid barrier wall. Each saw stroke, each wood joint fitting echoes steadily, transforming the bare frame into an enclosed, warm space. This wall not only blocks wind and snow, but also brings absolute safety. I measure carefully, leaving a square opening in the wooden wall for a window. The view from here overlooks the entire forest, helping me observe all surrounding movements. The window frame not only brings natural light into the house, but is also the fortress's eyes, guarding the peace within. Returning to ground level, I search for dry wood logs to supplement the fuel supply. The sound of axe and hatchet rings out again, breaking the forest's silence. Each piece of firewood is split small, stacked neatly at the house base. This is the source of life, the warmth for long nights ahead, when winter truly descends. Smoke from the cooking fire rises thickly, mingling with the frigid air. I begin cooking a late dinner using melted snow water. While waiting for water to boil, I take advantage to fix several small details of the latter. Everything must be perfect before I officially climb into the new house to spend the first night. Sitting by the fire, I slowly open the stewed meat can, its aroma spreading and awakening hunger after a long, exhausting day. Mixing meat with hot noodles, the simple meal becomes more delicious than ever. This is the moment I reward myself before climbing into the wooden fortress to enjoy the first sleep in the wilderness. Not stopping at the windbreak wall, I decide to reinforce the overhang below. Utilizing leftover short timber pieces, I build an additional secondary floor. This area not only helps shelter the staircase, but also creates extra space to store dry firewood, keeping the fuel supply ready regardless of weather. The treehouse is complete, standing majestically amid the pine forest like an impregnable fortress. I climb up, checking each connection point, each timber piece one last time. From this height, I can survey the entire forest, feeling absolute safety and freedom that my own hands have created. From the just-finished window frame, I look out at the world like a conqueror. The towering tree trunks, the deep blue sky now lie within sight. Satisfaction seeps in as each piece of the house gradually fits together, transforming the initially crazy idea into solid reality amid the ancient forest. The construction nearly complete, I meticulously stuff dry moss into gaps between timber pieces. This natural insulation layer will block drafts and retain warmth inside the space. Each moss clump is packed tight, transforming the rough wooden house into a cozy nest, ready to welcome winter's harsh cold. I nail an additional thin wood layer on the roof, reinforcing waterproofing capability. The rhythmic sound of hammering nails rings out like a labor song in the deep forest. Each final piece is installed, completing the house's armor, ensuring absolute dryness even in the most violent snowstorms. At the house base, I gather excess wood pieces, chopping them small into kindling. Nimble hands arrange them into neat stacks, ready for freezing winter nights. Each action demonstrates thorough preparation, because in nature, survival depends on not wasting any resources. Cooking smoke once again weaves through the canopy. Breakfast is prepared simply at the wooden fortress base. I crack an egg into the hot pan. The cheerful sizzling joins forest birds greeting the new day. Energy fully restored, I'm ready for final finishing tasks, transforming this place into a true survival base. Under brilliant sunlight, the golden egg yolk stands out against the ancient forest backdrop. An energy-rich meal is the perfect start for the next workday. The aroma of fried eggs mingles with burning wood scent like a reminder. Even in the harshest circumstances, humans can still find joy in simple things. After the meal, I return to the axe, carving a small timber piece as a door latch. These final intricate details transform the rough house into a convenient shelter. I carefully install it, ensuring the door opens and closes smoothly, locking out all dangers when night falls. Fresh green wild onion strands are scattered on the hot egg pan, supplementing necessary vitamins for the deficient body. I savor the meal slowly, feeling the rich flavor dispel the cold. Energy fully restored, I pack up and shoulder my backpack. Now it's time to return to the fortress to complete the final phases. I return, continuing to complete the roof with a large blue tarp. This covering layer is the final defense line against sudden forest rains. Each tarp corner is stretched flat, secured firmly, ensuring the interior space stays dry and safe, no matter how harsh the outside weather becomes. The blue tarp is stretched, but to blend with nature, I cover it with a thick moss layer. The lush green moss patches not only camouflage the house, but also enhance insulation and waterproofing capabilities. Now, viewed from afar, the wooden fortress seems to grow from the tree itself, perfectly hidden in the ancient forest. The final work is complete. Standing on the moss-covered rooftop, I look down at the forest gradually sinking into darkness. Pride mixed with peace spreads through me. I've conquered harsh nature, personally building this safe fortress. Now the treehouse is not just shelter, but part of myself in the wild wilderness. I attach an old tin sheet to the wooden wall, drilling a round hole in the center to install a chimney pipe for the future stove. This small but important detail will keep the house warm without smoke suffocation. The sound of metal hitting wood rings out, marking final preparation for a safe and convenient winter. The battle against cold never ends. I take advantage to stuff more moss into gaps around the window, blocking every piercing wind gust. This meticulousness is necessary because even a small crack is enough for warmth to escape outside. Now the treehouse is ready to become a warm fortress amid harsh winter. From timber pieces cut neatly on the ground, I bring them up to build a bed in the corner of the house. The saw blade works at full capacity, so each joint fits perfectly. A dry, elevated sleeping place is top priority, helping the body completely isolate from cold air from the wooden floor, ensuring deep sleep to recover energy for tomorrow. I spread a thick moss layer on the bed surface, creating a soft mattress. Solid timber pieces are nailed as window frames, adding safety to the resting place. The house now is not only solid, but also cozy, ready to welcome me back after each long day conquering nature. I test lie on the wooden bed, feeling the solidity beneath my back. Finishing the resting place, I install a small table under the window, creating a workspace. Sitting at the table, I take out supplies. Now the house is not just shelter, but has the function of a home, where life can be sustained in the heart of wild nature. I begin preparing a meal on the wooden table. Eggs are cracked into the pan. Cold cuts are carefully sliced. Having a clean workspace is top priority, ensuring hygiene in the forest. Preparation complete, I bring the pan down to the fire below. This nutritious meal will provide more energy. The pan is placed on glowing coals, completing the egg dish. I bring the hot meal upstairs, sitting by the window to catch the light. The rich flavor melts on the tongue, dispelling all fatigue. Energy restored, I don't hesitate, immediately going down, using a handsaw to continue preparing wood for upcoming projects. After lunch, I go down to continue gathering wood. Although the house is basically complete, ensuring reserve material sources for the future is top priority. I carefully saw dry branches, stacking them into neat piles. Each wood piece is not just material, but also assurance for long-term survival in the deep forest. Returning inside, I finish the entrance door. Each timber piece is measured, fitted to create a tight-fitting door, ensuring wind tightness. Done, I go back down, sawing short timber pieces and stacking them into a simple barrier layer, adding extra protection for the lower house section. The final wooden door is fitted with metal hinges and secured with a solid latch right below ground. This wooden plank is the most essential defense line, blocking everything outside from entering. Finishing, I hoist the door on my shoulder, climb the ladder, and install it in position. Now the fortress is locked tight, bringing absolute safety. After installing the door, I bring the field stove upstairs. Installing the chimney pipe through the metal shield, I kindle the first fire. Flickering firelight illuminates the wooden room, bringing warmth and comfort. Light smoke rises, blending into the pine canopy. Now the fortress has a soul, ready to combat all winter nights. The fire in the stove blazes. I utilize the radiating warmth, placing a water pot on top to heat, preparing for the next meal. With the stove, cooking becomes much safer and more convenient than outdoor fires. Sitting by the warmth, I arrange dry food and drinks, feeling rare abundance in the deep forest. Utilizing warmth from the stove, I cook the first hearty meal inside the house. Buckwheat and canned meat are mixed together, creating an abundant nutrition source. Sitting by the windproof window, I enjoy the meal, feeling absolute comfort and safety. This is the moment marking the transition from survival to living. Still not satisfied with wind tightness, I continue stuffing coconut fiber and dry moss into each gap between timber pieces. This insulation layer must be thick and tight to block all cold air from entering. Inside, the house is gradually becoming a cozy cocoon, a shelter not only safe, but warm enough to overcome any snowstorm. The basic construction complete, I bring blankets and sleeping bag upstairs. These are the final essential items, transforming the wooden fortress into true lodging. Climbing to the rooftop, I perform final maintenance, covering green moss over the entire tarp. The survival masterpiece is now perfect, fully blending into the wilderness green. Sitting on the moss-covered roof, I carefully install additional crude gutters to channel rainwater. Making maximum use of all resources is survival secret. Just finishing, I hang down the blue tarp, creating an effective windbreak curtain layer. The house is now thoroughly protected, solid against all weather challenges. I continue covering moss on the rooftop, ensuring the biological camouflage layer reaches maximum thickness. From the elevated view, the construction has completely disappeared amid the green canopy, becoming an inseparable part of the forest. Finishing all details, I stand at the peak, feeling absolute tranquility, ready for upcoming days and months in the wilderness. Returning to construction, I focus on insulation details. I bring silver foam board upstairs. This is an extremely important heat reflection layer for retaining warmth. Carefully measuring and cutting the material, I stick it to the overhang ceiling. This insulation layer helps block cold air from below, ensuring maximum heating efficiency for the small room. Ceiling insulation finished, I turn inside, meticulously stuffing the final gaps under the house floor. Every hole is sealed, creating absolute tightness. Afterward, I arrange the small room, placing a cloth table, candles, and personal items. The rough wooden house has now become a convenient home in the deep forest, ready for upcoming long survival days. After finishing interior, I return to the traditional fire below. Flames burst up strongly, boiling the water pot quickly. I pour in dry noodles, stirring evenly. Although the house has a stove, outdoor cooking is sometimes still more convenient. The simple meal warms the belly, providing energy to maintain strength. I bring the hot noodle pot upstairs. Sitting at the table, I carefully ladle each spoonful of noodles into the bowl. The small room is lit by candles, creating an unusually cozy atmosphere. The simple meal contains great joy, symbolizing persistence overcoming hardship, finding abundance in the harshest environment. I open the meat can, scooping it into the hot noodle bowl. Lighting 2 candles illuminates the room. Gentle light dances on wooden walls, creating unprecedented cozy atmosphere. Sitting by the table, I enjoy dinner, feeling absolute safety. All efforts have been rewarded. Surviving in nature is not just about strength, but also willpower. If you loved the journey of building this fortress and want to accompany me in upcoming challenges, please hit the subscribe button and turn on notification bell right now. Thank you for watching.